Adiola, the founder and CEO of Credit. We help African immigrants in the US build their credit history via payments to Africa. So one of the core things for us was we saw that within Africa they had processed about $2 trillion year over year, growing about 25%. And we knew that the next best system for us would be to help those that are in the diaspora with access to not just payment solutions, instant payment solutions, but also credit solutions. And now we've expanded to our B2B solution to help enterprises not just process payments to the continent, but process it at the fastest speed, which is one of the value props we're doing. So we started our company with these four use cases, right? Sending payments to Africa. We provided access to credit score building. Now we also had dollar access for Africans that just recently migrated. So just think of it, if you're Kenyan or a Nigerian landing in JFK airport, you want to have the benefits of a US passport holder day one. That's basically what we offer. And now with partnership with Visa, we offering credit cards day one as well. So this is one of our core business, and this is how we started, and we're growing extremely. I'm talking about 1,500% year over year growth, type of growth. Um, and one of the core things we've done is utilizing stablecoin rails and also the access of our bank in Africa to process payments from point A to point B in under 8 seconds. I'm talking about our last process payment was about 8.95 seconds last month, one of the fastest within the continent and outside the continent. So we currently have the ability to do fiat to stablecoin process payments, fiat to fiat, stablecoin to fiat payments, and also stablecoin to 25 African countries and now 40 African countries, and growing extremely fast. The movement of payments from a swift traditional process, as we've all known, was payments 1.0. And I always like to say that what we're building is payment 2.0 because Swift, as you know, is fragmented. And that is one of the biggest use cases of stablecoin today, right? Trying to battle the Swift network. And we're doing it at the fastest speed as well. So we can move payments from a US bank account, from a US card. We can do direct debit payments as well on chain in seconds. And once that is deployed into the stablecoin wallet address, we have the ability to do conversion across African countries and also other diaspora nations. So, for example, if you make a deposit in the US from your card or wherever it is, credit card or debit card, wherever it is, we can do that swift conversion to GBP to euros, all passed with a Euro country because we have an AMI in Europe and also a license in the UK as well. So the access we're providing is what would have probably taken about 2 to 5 years for other banks to provide because of KYC. And this is very traditional. Once you come into a new country, they have to understand your behavioral pattern. That's what banks do. Right? I came from JP Morgan. We had to understand your bank history. We had to understand how you process payment. Do you have a fraudulent background? And so many things like that. But with the evolution of crypto and stablecoins, this has been eliminated because we knew them before they migrated to the country. So we already KYC them. We already had some sort of pattern of history for like their 25 years or 30 years or 50 years on the African continent before they came to the US or the UK or Europe. And we've been able to build quality data across those information so that way they're already solid and KYC enough. We also provide orchestration services now to B2B service businesses. As of last fall, we did about $400 million for a gaming company that owned a gift card business, and they are across about 42 African countries. So what their pain point basically was the inability for them to for their customers to swipe their cards, and then they had to move money on chain from their main bank account. So they had so much loss rates from fees, and two, it took a couple days, so T plus one for every single swipe and also every single movement of money before it eventually went on chain, and then before they had to make the transaction to Africa. So what we did was for them was kind of reduce their T plus five process to T plus zero, almost instant. and now they're doing about $400 million every single month on our platform. So we orchestrate, and we also provide local connectivity. So if you do USD, Swift, ACH, whatever it is, we can orchestrate from those local payment mechanisms and methods. We've also provided our APIs as an open source for fintech companies that would like to also build what we've done and even scale their company. So if you think of it, if you're a corporate credit card company that want to build a mobile wallet for your customers, for your corporate customers, individual customers, you can directly integrate our ecosystem to provide digital bank accounts, cards, credit scores, and multiple stuff like reward systems, ability to buy, sell, and hold crypto. So many other options. So we have this embedded solution. And one of the core things is if you're going to move with BaaS providers, it's going to be on average about 8 months. So we are talking about 3 weeks for integration. If your team knows what they're doing, right? Um, so also we also provide card as a service. With our integration, we can help corporate and B2B partners not only issue local cards across their team, they can also externally serve external customers with branded cards. So you can change the brand logo and have a credit card for your customers or your businesses at scale. So we are speaking with RTF company that issues about 20,000 new cards every single month, and the ability to issue credit cards to earn higher interchange versus debit cards, because as we all know, debit cards has the lowest interchange versus credit cards. So this is one of the things we're doing with them. We offer our APIs to them for access to issue new cards and obviously scale their product. I always like to say we have four main use cases today as our priority use case. I've spoken about cross-border payments. I've spoken about payouts to the African continent and also globally. I've also spoken about dollar and euro access. But I think the biggest one is treasury management. So let me give you an instance. In the US or the UK or Europe that has over 40 plus countries, you move from country to country without the need of the father that you have to re KYC people from Belgium to France. You can use your card from Belgium and go to France and use the same card. Or you're in France and you go over to Germany and use the same card. Or if you're in Minnesota, you come to New York, you can use your same card in New York. But Africa has 54 different countries. If you have a card in Nigeria, you cannot use the card in Ghana. You can use the card in Kenya. So it's heavily fragmented. There's a huge opportunity there. And I think the biggest out of this four is treasury management. The ability to always hold stables, and then from stables we are able to provide the various services as microservices on our tech infrastructure to our customers, because then they have the ability to then spend wherever Visa is accepted, which is over 180 countries, and which is about 50 countries on the continent today. So I think treasury management is one of the biggest use cases, and we're seeing this evolve beyond just the hierarchy of needs, which is the ability to first spend, then the next is save, and then obviously build financial wealth, which is where we're obviously getting to as our next key step. So these are some of the key processes I explained, where traditional fiat process is expensive and we are reducing the cost. So if you're in Canada, you're in Europe, you're in US, you are able to easily move your money on-chain across different jurisdictions and different continents and processing it in literally 8.95 seconds as our last fastest process mechanism. Also, same thing with payouts, dollar euro access, and which is what I explained earlier on. And to touch about treasury and flow, this is a good aspect of how you'd see your application sitting embedded on our application. So you have the ability to connect the API to credit cards. You have a strong compliance and risk mitigation team that can help stabilize your environment, and you can scale that to multi-million customers. Beyond just the mitigation, we have the ability to orchestrate, and we've seen less than about 2% chargeback across over 500,000 cards, which is better than the average industry today, which is roughly about 35%. So this is mainly because we know the customers. We've been able to build strong risk process internally to help them scale their products. I explained earlier that going live with us can is one of the fastest. You can go live in as easy as 3 weeks to 30 days, compared to traditional bank partners within this space that can take up to 16 weeks, which is about 4 months. And we've seen some obviously go, traditional banks will go as high as 8 months, depending on the card infrastructure provider and obviously multiple banks they're working with. But we have three direct bank integrations in the US and globally that we are able to turn on for different access points as they keep growing and scaling their business. These are some of our partners that we've worked with and we're still working with to scale our business and obviously grow. We have bank partners, we have L1s, we have L2s. We also have some of our investors that kind of scaling our company as we build our product. Some key stats we've done so far, we have over 1 million users using the product internally, about 2,000 businesses integrating with our APIs. We just recently raised new capital and we support about 100 plus countries and we have roughly about half a billion in process volume, now growing from last month to about a billion plus in TPVs. These are some of the African continents that have proven strong value within the volume. And also some of the things we're seeing is as we begin to move into North Africa, which is why we're in Dubai, right? We see a huge Middle East to Egypt, Morocco, Algeria region, where that is accounting for an average of about $80 billion annually just from the Middle East to Egypt. And this is obviously scaling as we grow. So one of the things we're doing is now plugging into the North African ecosystem to scale the product for seamless payments without needing multiple access to various countries. So we can scale payments from Dubai down to Egypt within the fast turnaround period. We've built modern infrastructure, and I think one of the key things I said early on is we are building the payments 2.0 world, not just for Africans, but for global business. Thank you very much.